Kylie Jenner doesn't look anything like she used to when we first met her. So let's follow Kylie throughout the years and estimate just how much she has spent on plastic surgery. These are some of the earliest photos I was able to find of Kylie, and this is back in 2011 when she was only 14 years old. And this is who I believe is the natural Kylie. If you look closely, she does not have her trademark large plump lips that she currently has. In addition, because she's 14, she doesn't have some of the curves that you may know her for now as well. She's a beautiful young woman without having anything done, but this changes the next year in 2012. My name is Dr. Anthony Youn, and I'm known as America's Holistic Plastic Surgeon. I have to start this video by letting you know that I am not Kylie's doctor. I have never treated her before, so all of this is just my opinion. Let's start by looking at Kylie back in February of 2012. And this, once again, is the natural Kylie. Now let's take a look at Kylie just 1 month later in March of 2012. Do you notice anything different? Well, she's 15 years old, and it appears that she may have had her first experience with lip filler injections. Her lips look a little bit plumper than they did just a month ago, and I believe this started her on her path towards larger lips. Now, one interesting fact is that when you're under 18, it is legal to undergo cosmetic procedures like lip filler, like Botox, and even like breast implants. But in order for it to be legal, one or both of her parents must have signed off on it. So either Chris or Caitlin, Bruce at the time, must have signed off on her having her lips filled. If you've got a 15-year-old, would you sign up on having your 15-year-old get their lips filled? Now let's fast forward to December of 2012, and if you compare the December photo here to the one back in March, it does appear that she may have had a little more filler injected into her lips. They still look natural, they still fit her face real nicely. Now let's fast forward a little bit more into 2013. This is a photo of Kylie back in November of 2013. She doesn't appear to have changed a whole lot in the last really 12 months or so. Still having, I think, a little bit of filler in her lips, but not too much. And if you look at full body photos of her from the same time, you can see she has a very nice athletic figure. But now let's go forward about a month into December of 2013, and let's compare December of 2013 to November of 2013. Take a look at her lips. Her lips do look like they are a bit fuller, and she's starting to look a bit more like the Kylie Jenner that we know today. So I believe she underwent more injections of lip filler sometime between November and December of 2013. Now let's fast forward 6 months into May of 2014. She's 17 years old, and look at her lips. I bet she's had at least one more session with a plastic surgeon or dermatologist where she had lip filler injected once again. Now, do I see any other changes here in May of 2014? Well, not yet. I think at this point she's 17 years old. I don't think she's had any true surgery that I can see, obviously. All I can see at this point is some lip filler. But this does change. Now let's move ahead 6 months and take a look at Kylie and how she looks. I believe that in the period between May of 2014 and November of 2014, she may have gone under a plastic surgeon's knife for the first time. If you look closely at her nose appears to have been a bit refined. It looks a little bit thinner than it did back in May of 2014, and it looks like it may have been shortened just a touch. If you compare this to December of 2013, you can really see the change. So I believe she underwent a rhinoplasty, possibly by Dr. Raj Kanodia, who is the plastic surgeon that Khloe Kardashian has admitted to having a nose job from, and she may have had her nose just slightly tweaked in this time period. Overall, I think her nose looks great, whether she had a nose job or not, and if her surgeon was Dr. Kanodia, he's definitely very, very well respected. Now, I could have done a rhinoplasty on her and gotten the same result, of course, but I stopped doing them a few years ago. Well, if 2014 was the year that Kylie first went under the knife for a nose job, I believe that 2015 is when she may have had her first BBL. Now, BBL stands for Brazilian butt lift, and this is a surgery where you take fat, you liposuction it from one part of the body, and then you inject that fat into the buttock. It is the most common surgical way to make the buttocks look larger. It is also the most dangerous cosmetic plastic surgery when it's done in the wrong hands. So let's take a look at Kylie's figure in 2015. it looks like she has a quite ample derriere. And if we compare her buttocks here to 2013, you can see that it's not a huge change, but it does appear that her buttocks may be a bit larger. So I believe she may have undergone her first BBL surgery in 2015, giving her that badonkadonk.
Becky, look at her butt.
But what about her face? Take a peek at this photo of her from 2015 as well, and you can see she's starting to look more and more like the Kylie Jenner of today. Her brows appear to be a little bit elevated. She's got also cheeks that appear to be a little more elevated, and her face looks like it's a bit more contoured. Now, I believe it's possible she may have had some Botox injections into her forehead and between her frown lines, and she may have had some injections of filler into her cheeks, giving her her characteristic high cheekbones. Overall, she looks absolutely beautiful, and if she did have treatments at that time, I have to commend her plastic surgeon or her dermatologist. Now, the changing of Kylie's facial shape appears to continue a year later in this photo from 2016. As you can see, she once again has the elevated brows, the higher cheekbones, and a really nicely contoured face. Let's compare this photo then. It was taken back in May of 2016 to a photo from November of 2013. And you can see that her facial shape is very different. Now, you may be wondering, how often do you need to undergo these injections? Well, Botox typically lasts about 3 to 4 months, so most people undergo Botox injections about 3 times a year to keep it up. Injectable fillers, however, can last much longer. There are some fillers that only last about 6 months, but there are other fillers that can last literally upwards of 2 years, sometimes longer. The fillers typically used in the cheeks are often on the longer lasting side than the shorter lasting side. Are you like the millions of people who have a bathroom filled with half-empty bottles and tubes of skincare? They may have promised to reduce your wrinkles, lighten your blemishes, and help you feel better about your skin, but none of them actually worked. Well, I've got the answer for you. It's called Youn Beauty. Youn Beauty is one of the only skincare lines that combines natural and organic ingredients with the latest and scientifically proven components like vitamin C and retinol. I'm so certain that you'll love Youn Beauty products that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, no questions asked. Head to younbeauty.com and use the coupon code 20OFF to get $20 off your first order over $99. I'll put a link in the caption below. Once you try Youn Beauty products, I bet you'll throw away your other skincare products and start loving your skin again. Thank you for putting your trust in me. Now, it's in the summer of 2016 that I believe Kylie may have had another operation. Take a look at her from May of 2016, and then take a look at her in July of 2016. Do you notice any changes? Well, if you look closely at her chest, it does appear that she may have undergone a breast augmentation sometime between May and July of 2016. Her breasts look larger, they have a bit of a rounder shape to them, but they still fit her figure really nicely. So if she had a breast augmentation, I think it was done very well, and I have to commend her plastic surgeon. Now let's jump ahead to 2017, and let's take a peek at her figure. If you look closely, her butt looks like it's a bit bigger. I believe that Kylie may have undergone her second BBL surgery in between 2016 and 2017. Let's compare the size of her bottom in 2017 to May 2016. And you can see that it's not super dramatic, but her butt looks a bit bigger. And especially if you compare 2017 to 2013, there definitely appears to be a change here. Now, there are non-surgical ways to enhance your buttocks. Obviously, you can do it on your own by doing squats and other types of exercises, but there are also non-invasive muscle stimulating devices that can stimulate the muscles of your buttocks to contract 20,000 times over a half-hour session. And this is a very safe way to mildly lift and enhance your buttocks. That being said, I don't think that she had those treatments done. I think she had a BBL. Well, now let's look at Kylie from the front and take a look at her tiny waist. If we compare her waist in 2017 to 2015, it does look like she has slimmed down quite a bit. Now, when you have a BBL performed, typically fat has to be liposuctioned from one place and then injected into the buttocks. And the most common areas to take the fat are the tummy, the waist and hips, and the thighs. Now, I would have to estimate that Kylie has very little fat on her. I doubt that they'd be able to get much from her tummy, maybe a little from her thighs, but quite often the waist and the hips are the place that you can get the most fat. And what happens if that fat is removed in order to put it into the buttocks in a BBL? Well, your waist gets a lot thinner. And I do believe that this may be what we're seeing with Kylie in these photos. Plastic surgery or not, we have to admit she looks absolutely fantastic. Now let's look at her in 2018. And in these photos you can see that she looks like the Kylie we know today. I do believe that she's continuing to undergo injections of filler into her lips. She's maybe getting some Botox and some filler into her cheeks, but I don't see anything obvious surgical throughout this year or in 2019. These photos of her from 2019 appear to show that she is continuing to get filler injected into her lips and then possibly Botox into her forehead and some filler into her cheeks. And I do believe it's also possible, but it's hard to say, that she may have undergone a buccal fat removal. And this is removal of fat from the inside of the cheeks to help contour the face. Now from 2019 until today, I don't see any major changes in how Kylie looks. So I don't believe that she's undergone any major cosmetic surgery since then. I do believe she may be keeping up, however, with her injections, which can get quite costly over the years. So now let's tally up everything that I believe Kylie may have spent on her plastic surgery. Let's start with the obvious, lip fillers. Now, if she undergoes injection of 2 syringes every 6 months or so, then we can say she averages anywhere from 3 to 4 syringes of filler per year. I believe that she's had these lip filler injections done since 2012, so that means 10 years of lip fillers. So if we multiply 10 years of lip fillers times 3 syringes per year, and we would estimate each syringe at about $1,000, then I would estimate that she's spent upwards of $30,000 on lip fillers since she started having it done. I believe that she may have been undergoing Botox injections since 2015. Typically, patients undergo 3 sessions per year. If we would average $1,000 per session times 7 years, then that's spending about $21,000 on Botox in total. If she had a rhinoplasty by Dr. Kanodia or another top-line plastic surgeon, that would cost approximately $25,000. A BBL by a top board-certified plastic surgeon costs about $30,000. If you multiply it by 2, that's $60,000 to get that big badonkadonk.
She gotta pack much back, so?
A breast augmentation costs about $12,000, and a buccal fat removal is about $5,000. So if we add up all of these cosmetic treatments, I would estimate that she probably spent upwards of $153,000 on cosmetic injections and cosmetic operations. But that is not all. Kylie has absolutely beautiful skin, she is in fantastic shape, so we have to guess that she's probably undergone a lot of non-invasive or minimally invasive treatments. Treatments like chemical peels, laser treatments, cellulite treatments, skin tightening treatments, radiofrequency treatments, and expensive skincare. And I would estimate at least $100,000 or so could easily be spent over the past 10 years on these types of treatments. So if we had to add everything up, I would say a grand total of about $250,000 or more may have been spent to give Kylie the look that she has today. So this is all the plastic surgery that I believe Kylie Jenner has had done. But what about her sister, Kendall Jenner? Well, I don't think she's had quite as much as Kylie, but I do think she's gone under the knife and probably the needle too. Take a peek at this video right up here where I react to what I believe Kendall's had done. You just might be surprised. And remember, eat real food, use clean skincare, and only consider actual plastic surgery as a last resort.